You're listening to Radio Kidnappers, the voice of Hawke's Bay. It's that time of week again. It's the time for us to talk to Lou from Wardini Books in Havelock North on the wonderful world of Wardini Books. How you going, Lou?
Really well, Ken. Yourself?
Oh, can't complain. All the better for seeing you. That's one of my lines, you know.
It is.
Yeah, I should
I
change
look
that.
forward to it.
Anyway, you've been busy?
Yeah, always. I can't even tell you what I've been doing.
Yeah,
It's just like that. That's life, isn't it?
Maybe you need to take a bit of a step back and have a day off. Wouldn't that be nice?
I don't know what to do.
Anyway, 3 more great books, and the first of our books we're going to look at today is called The Proudest Blue.
This is a very beautiful book. It is a picture book for children. It's a story of hijab and family. And it's by Olympic medalist Ibtihaj Mohammed with S.K. Ali and art by Hatem Ali. So this is about a little girl, and she is extremely proud of her sister on the first day of hijab. So I don't know where they live. It could be the UK, it could be anywhere. You get the feeling, it might be in America actually. Very multicultural.
Yes, look at that.
And so Mama holds out the pink. Mama loves the pink, but Asiya wants the blue one.
Yeah.
And it's when the girls hit puberty and they have to wear hijab. And so little... So that's Asiya who's going to have the hijab, and it's Faiza, I think her name is, the little tiny girl, and she just thinks her sister is the most beautiful thing in the world. So she's playing in the garden, that she's got her new sparkly shoes on because it's first day of school, and she's skipping about all excited, and she just stops when Asiya comes out of the door. It's the most beautiful first day of school ever, and she just thinks she's walking to school with a princess.
Look at that.
This beautiful girl. And of course, you know, they get to school and the kids are like, what is that on your head?
Yes.
Because they don't know, and they're not used to it. And there's some whispers going around, and like, what's that? What's your sister wearing? And she said, a scarf, hijab. And then the other girl just goes, oh, you know, okay. And then beautiful illustrations like that about what it means. The first day of wearing hijab is important. It means being strong. So Mum's prepared these kids for what's going to happen, because there are questions, and that's okay. But of course, at some point, there is the inevitable bullying.
Yeah.
And like, why have you got a tablecloth on your head, and all that kind of awfulness. And you read it, and it just makes you feel sick, because so many kids have to go through that. And it's not just kids that wear hijab. It might be kids that have certain disabilities, or anyone that has anything that is different from that Western norm.
Yeah.
I'm putting norm in air quotes there. So I just thought it was a beautiful way of exploring what it's like for that little girl, and how proud she is of her faith and her family, and how prepared she is. And nasty kids are going to be nasty kids, just like nasty grown-ups are going to be nasty grown-ups. But there are ways that can be dealt with. Mama says, don't carry the hurtful words that others say, drop them. They are not yours to keep.
Oh, that's great, isn't it?
Isn't it?
What a great philosophy.
Yeah, for anybody at any time. And then at the back we have lots more information, and look at that amazing woman. So that's Ibtihaj Mohammed, and she was an Olympic fencer, and the first Muslim American woman in hijab to compete for the United States in the Olympic Games.
Oh, fantastic.
So it's her tale to tell.
And I must say, just by you flipping those pages up over there, the story was almost being told just by looking at the pictures. What a great book.
That's the best picture books are like that.
Yeah.
The words are beautiful, but you know, you can pick everything up just by looking at the pictures, and that's what little kids do.
Who's that aimed at? What age group?
I mean, you could read that to a 3-year-old, but I would say that it would be great for schools too, because it's all about celebrating and loving and nurturing our diversity, isn't it?
Yeah, dead right there. And our next book is something that we all yearn for. Apparently we all yearn this more than anything else, more than money. It's about love.
Oh.
Did you know that? People
Well,
want to be loved more than ever.
You would think so. I think there's almost like there are books coming into the shop at the moment about loneliness and how that's an epidemic.
Yes,
you know, we've got anxiety and loneliness because of the way that we're living, which is not how human beings are meant to live.
No,
but anyway.
We're meant to love each other.
Yeah. Oh, I love you, Ken.
Or things, at least someone does.
So this is Love by Roddy Doyle, and this is Roddy writing his 2 main characters, who are Davy and Joe, and they are childhood friends, and they're now in their 60s. And Davy lives over in England now, but he goes back to Dublin a couple of times a year and sees his dad and catches up with Joe, and they're in touch all the time. So they've been lifelong friends. And this time, when they meet up for a pint in the pub. They spent a lot of time in the Dublin pubs in their
Yes.
youth, so you get flashbacks to how they used to knock around the Dublin pubs until they found, George's place, which was their favourite.
Yeah.
And what's happened this time is that Davy's gone back and Joe is telling him the story of how, at a parent-teacher evening, he suddenly re-met a woman from their youth. And that's it. His life has begun again.
Wow.
So he's got this, he was happily married for years, still loves his wife, and then this other woman has come in and just blown it all out of the water.
Wow.
And then that takes them back to when they first met her. Her name is Jessica. And when they first met her when they were 21, and they both fell for her.
Oh, right.
So it's very complex in that Joe is trying to tell Davy how he feels and what's going on. And it's not just about lust, it's about soulmate-ness.
Yeah.
And, it's quite a platonic relationship that they've got, and it's very complex.
Does it remain that way?
Just spoilers. And Davy is just full of jealousy and confusion about what's gone on and how this just rewrites the narrative of their past.
Yes.
And it is about love in all its different forms, because they talk about their wives and how they first met their wives. So there's a lot of going back in time and teasing out what's happened, and their relationship with their children, and what love is and how it manifests.
Yeah.
And it's all in the Dublin pubs, and you can smell it and you can feel it, and it's wonderful.
I wonder if you ever forget your first true love.
No, I doubt it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's always something there, isn't there?
Yeah, and sometimes it's regret and terror. Oh, revealing a bit there.
That's right. Now, this next book is a little bit closer to home, because it's written by a very well-known Hawke's Bay author. It's called Brasswitch and Bot, and it's due for a release in the very near future.
Yeah. So this is by Gareth Ward.
Yes, we know him.
We know him quite well. So this is his new series for kids of, it says 12 plus, but I've just given it a reread because obviously I read it a while ago in its rawer form, and a robust 10-year-old. I think they're saying 12 plus because there's a lot of fighting scenes in there. So it's book one of at least a 2-book series, and this one is Rise of the Remarkables. So you have the Brasswitch is this young woman here who is Wren Chester Harris. She's called Wrench, and she has an ability. She's what society would call an aberration. Things have come through a rift in time and space and caused aberrance in
Sounds
society. And Wrench can reach into machinery with her mind and figure out the heart and soul of a machine and manipulate it.
Yeah.
She is rescued from torture and possible death by this fella, Bot, who is a massive mechanoid who is in charge of Cabal 13, which is a reaction force for dealing with aberrations, but he is more sympathetic than others to people like Wrench, and he knows that he can use a Brasswitch in trying to stop these creatures coming through. So it is another absolutely amazing adventure, peopled with amazing characters. And Bot's really funny, so they have a real fun relationship, as well as him being like your Sergeant Major.
Yes.
That we just met in the corridors before. And then we've got Octavia, who is this beautiful blue-hued person with all these tentacles coming out. She is also what's called an aberration, but they are rebranding themselves as Remarkables. They're not aberrant.
Right, I see.
They are remarkable. And Octavia can use her tentacles to soothe you and to read little bits of your mind.
Who would think of all that sort of stuff and
My
write
husband.
it down?
Yeah, it's incredible.
And when is it going to be
Love it.
released?
So that is 8th of August. We're having the massive launch party. So 8th of August at Havelock North Function Centre. We've got a free launch for younger people at 4 o'clock. There'll be all sorts of games and things going on there. And then we're having the Brasswitch's Ball. We're having a massive party at 8 o'clock, and 7 o'clock, beg your pardon. And that'll be a ticketed event. You can get tickets from our website, wardini.co.nz.
Great. And if we want any of these books, where do we get them? Got 2 stores?
We do. Wardini Books, Havelock North, 16 Tomato Road in Havelock, and 44 Hastings Street in Napier.
Lou, as always, our pleasure. Look after yourself. Talk to you same time, same place next week.
Cool. Thanks, Ken.